Hello, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Cheryl Harris.
And my name's Michelle Beatty, and we're so glad to have you here with us today. We're going to go ahead and share the screen so that we can begin the presentation on wellness. And as we begin this conversation, we'd like for you to kind of start thinking about what wellness means to you. It might mean a little bit different things to different people.
So today we're going to be talking about the big three for families. I wonder what that could be. The goals for today's training is we're planning on defining overall wellness and identifying the parts to wellness, including mindfulness, physical activity, and reflection. We're also going to be identifying ways to be intentional about wellness, and we're going to choose how we may want our families to get started with these goals.
So, what is wellness? Wellness is proactive lifestyle choices that include activities and reflections in the following domains: physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, social, and environmental. The key word there is proactive, meaning that we're taking action before there's a challenge or a reason to push us into that action, that we're making that option on our own.
So, what is mindfulness? Well, mindfulness is a technique where it allows us to focus our full attention on that moment, on the present. Our thoughts, our feelings, our sensations. What is it that we're feeling in that moment? So, if we stop to look at a flower, what exactly is it about the flower that keeps us engaged in it, looking at it? And we don't want to judge these moments. We don't want to judge these sensations. We just want to be present in that moment. When you get to that point where you are just really exploring that flower or that leaf or that raindrop or whatever it is that you stop to look at and you're giving your full attention to, when you're present in that moment, then you're right at that point of mindfulness.
So, a mindful minute is when you train your mind to observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment or criticism. And when we're talking about without judgment or criticism, it means that sometimes we might feel some way, but then our internal speech tells us that we shouldn't feel this way, or we should have done something different, or what we could do, what we should do next time. So when we're really focusing on being mindful, when those feelings and thoughts come to us, it's really about pushing thoughts aside to stay present in the moment and allowing ourselves to recognize the feelings without judging ourselves or others for how that impact on our feelings occurs. So we want to try to find intentional moments when we can focus on the present. And that can look like a lot of different things. Some ways that we can be intentional in focusing on the moment is that focusing on our breathing. So taking a moment to feel your breath come in and out, really nice, big, deep breaths. There's different breathing techniques that we can use also when we're having a mindful moment. There are some visual strategies that we use sometimes, but even just taking breaths so that our exhale is longer than our inhale, or taking a deep breath, holding it for 3 seconds, and then letting it out really slowly. Another thing that some people choose to do for a mindful minute is really focusing on listening to try to find multiple different sounds that you can hear all around you. Focusing on sounds that we hear coming from different directions can be really grounding.
One of my favorite things to listen to, Miss Beatty, are the birds that are outside chirping.
That is nice.
So, as we continue with a mindful minute, we can also focus on things that we see. We can find one object around us. It could even be something on our desk or something in our home, and think about how it was made. Really being in that moment to explore that item and say, I wonder how it was made. I mean, we can probably suspect it was made in a factory, or maybe it's a handmade item, but either way, it would be fascinating to take that moment and be present to think, how was that item made? The other thing is we can pick up an item, we can think about 3 adjectives that we could use to describe it, really being in that moment with that item. That would be another way to use our senses to enjoy a mindful minute. So, just as a quick review, remember, when we are being mindful, we are being present. We are in the moment. We are not in the past, and we are not thinking about the future. We are in that present moment. We can also stop for mindfulness. Michelle, would you like to do this one?
Sure. So this is a visual that we found from 0 to 3, and this is an acronym to help us in those mindful moments to remember what to do. So S stands for stop, pause, and focus. You want to remember to stop, find those moments to stop. We know it's not easy to find those small moments, but trying to be intentional about when those moments can happen, it really be helpful. A little moment like, right when my kids start to eat their dinner, right as I'm finishing my plate and getting to the table, that can be my moment to just kind of stop for a minute and enjoy that silence and take a moment to focus. T stands for take a deep breath in and out and notice how it feels to breathe. O stands for observe and acknowledge. We want to observe how we're feeling and acknowledge that however we're feeling in that moment is okay. But what does that really tell us about where we are in that moment? And then proceed with calmness. So mindful minutes or mindful moments don't have to take a long time. It can be something that's very quick, but we do want to try to find those small opportunities every day where we can use mindfulness. Progressive relaxation is another strategy that can be used to assist with mindfulness. And the goal is to release tension and stress in the body. So as we make muscles more tense before we release them, it allows your body to more completely relax and let go of that tension. So this visual is of a short progressive relaxation routine. So first we sit in a chair, scrunch up our face, scrunch, and then relax your face. And then scrunch and tense in your arms, and then relax them. And then tense up the shoulders and the chest, and then relax them. And then tense up the legs and relax them. And then breathe in relaxation and breathe out the tension. This short little routine does not take a long time to use, but the nice thing about it is it really does incorporate using progressive relaxation throughout the entire body. And the goal is to release stress and tension. So in those moments that we're starting to feel that build up, this could be one way to take care of ourselves in that moment and help release that.
I think I'm definitely going to try that later.
It's a good one.
Physical activity. So physical activity is good for our physical body, of course, mental and emotional health. It can help improve our mood. And of course, something that I think we all strive for, more restful sleep. So intentional movement. When you set these things up, it can be done individually or it can be done in a small group or even a large group. Some examples can include walking, jogging, running, Zumba, biking, yoga. There's so many free videos that are available to us online. Some other things are playing tag outside, good old-fashioned aerobics. So there's a lot of opportunities to be intentional with physical activity.
Cheryl, I've been doing a lot of running lately, and I usually set those goals in the beginning of the day for myself. And that day, you know what, tonight's going to be a running night, and try to hold myself to it. So I know that on those days, I definitely can feel a lot better. And if I haven't ran in a few days, I definitely feel that building up.
I'm sure that that is very, very helpful for all of the parts of you. The other thing that we can think about when we're talking about physical activity is we can even think about something like a Tabata workout. Have you ever tried this, Miss Beatty?
I actually have, and I really enjoyed it. It was a definite change for me. It took a little bit of getting used to, but it was great that it was so short, and it was fun to just kind of keep switching up the activities. And then before I knew it was over, and I was kind of like, oh, all right, I did the whole thing already. So it was definitely a fun thing to try.
Excellent. So these Tabata workouts, as Miss Beatty has just shared, they're a short amount of time, high intensity interval workout, and it does not require any equipment. From the research that we've done, and you will have access to those resources, they also have Tabatas for children. And don't forget to check out the social skill lesson that accompanies this parent training, the big 3 for families as well. So here are some examples of some at-home activities that you and your family can look at. There's everything from jumps to cardios to chair exercises to planks to wall sits. There's all different kinds of activities that can be done. You can make this a calendar, you can check them off, but Tabata is listed here as an example as well. And the source was taken from fortyoga.com.
I love this calendar. It's a great tool. So the next thing we wanted to discuss with you is self-reflection. And this is really a great way to get to know yourself a little bit better. And it can also help to process thoughts and feelings and put things in perspective. There's a lot of challenging things happening right now, and there's a lot of stresses in all of our lives. So reflection can be a really powerful tool to help us really prioritize and see where, check in with ourselves and see where we're at. So when we're reflecting, we want to think back on the proactive lifestyle choices that we've used. And this is really primarily reflecting on these strategies that we're talking about now. Like if you do try a Tabata workout, how did you feel before and how did you feel after? Or, did you like one activity more than another? Maybe you tried progressive relaxation and also you looked at a YouTube video of a guided meditation for a mindful minute. And, did you like one more than the other? So you can kind of build up a little toolbox for yourself. But self-reflection can go beyond just when we're trying new things and we want to see, and have those moments to check in with ourselves. So other things that we can ask ourselves when we do some self-reflection is, what did I learn today? What am I most proud of? Am I taking care of myself? Or what was the most important thing that I did today? There are many other self-reflection questions that you might choose to ask, but it really is important to take those moments to have that internal conversation with yourself to really, see where you feel like you are with your life, with your goals, and with where you are day to day.
Those are all excellent questions. So now we're going to talk about, how do I get started with this concept of the big daily 3? So we have provided the resource that it came from Shape America. It is excellent. It has 5 days of ways to incorporate mindfulness, physical activity, and reflection into your day. This is just a little snip of it, what it would teach you, and those are available in the resources for you to download and print or save and use. But we were really thinking about, what if I'm not really in a place where I can take those 5 days and make that happen and be all in with all 3 things, the physical, the mindful, and the reflection? So what if I need to start small? So Miss Beatty and I created a calendar where you would just do something every day. So we came up with Mindful Mondays, Tabata Tuesdays, Wellness Wednesdays, Thankful Thursdays, and Fun and Free Fridays. So there's ideas to try, and this is also a resource that's available to you for download. But basically, Mindful Mondays, you're just going to strive to be present for 30 seconds once in the morning and once in the afternoon. For Tabata Tuesdays, you're going to take 10 minutes to move, intentional movement. You can use a Tabata or you can use anything else that you wish. Wellness Wednesdays, you're going to do something for you. You're going to practice self-care. Don't worry about the 6 domains. Try anything from any of them. Thankful Thursdays, you're going to engage in some kind of random act of kindness. It doesn't have to be random, but you're going to give a compliment to a member of the household, whatever works for you, but you're going to be thankful in a moment. And then of course, Fun and Free Fridays, you get to have a choice day. You can use movement, you can give a compliment, and you can practice self-care. Maybe Fridays will be a day where everybody gets to try one thing that they would like.
And it's really fun to do these things as a family too.
I would agree. So we asked you a question, what is wellness, as we were sharing our screen and getting this presentation started. So here it is in a nutshell: healthy body, healthy mind, happy human. And I think that's what we're all striving for right now.
Absolutely. So here are some of the resources that we had mentioned as we were talking, and there are additional resources for you. So we do have that big three from Shape America. We do have the physical activity from Special Olympics, and this is a School of Strength video. So they do a really nice job of giving some activities that for kids to do to build strength. They're really fun. The short clips are really energetic. And you can do them alongside your child. The Daily Calm is a free resource for guided mindfulness and meditation, and you can find that on YouTube. It is correlated with that Calm app, but this is a free option, so there's no cost affiliated, and it is right there on YouTube. But they do have different activities every day for you to listen to. There's visuals to go along with it if you choose for your mindful moments. And then, of course, we have to talk about Go Noodle, one of my favorite resources. But our kids love Go Noodle for those fun Zumba and the sticky waffle songs and all of that. But the Flow channel has some amazing resources that do include progressive relaxation, and they have visuals and they have sound to guide you through it. So you don't have to know how to do it on your own. You don't have to have that visual there with you. And this is another great tool that you can use with your kids, with your spouse, with your friends, with any other family members, or anyone else in the home. So this is another free resource. You can go to gonoodle.com. It's also a free app download, and you can access the Flow channel through Go Noodle to work through some mindfulness and progressive relaxation.
And don't forget to breathe. So, if you were to need some help or more support or assistance with behavior, please first reach out to your child's teacher. Say specifically that you need help with behavior. One of them or somebody from your child's school team will reach out to one of us, and then we will set a time to meet with you and connect via phone or via a virtual platform. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really do appreciate your time. Have a great one.
Thanks for joining us.